Whereas juniors in my area are able to play up to 2 tournaments a month because, I mean, what else do you do in high school besides sports, drugs, and watch TikTok? This is a highly requested video, and the statements I make in this analysis will be my opinion and my opinion only. Not Essential Tennis, not UTR, not the USTA's, but my opinion only. Although my friend at Essential Tennis, Ian, did do an overview and an interview with someone from the USTA's head of the NTRP rating system, I wanted to take more of an analytical deep dive into both systems. What they are good at, what they are absolutely bad at, and the possible room of improvements for both of these systems, instead of just going over the basics. If you want to watch those 2 Essential Tennis videos, I will leave links to those down in the description below. For this video, I will also have timestamps for the major sections/chapters of this video in the description if you want to skip ahead or just overall peruse on those topics. Before we get started, if you enjoy these type of analysis videos, please hit that like button and hit subscribe. Also, hit that bell icon to be notified on when I upload original tennis content such as this. Without further delay, let's get started. The USTA currently uses the National Tennis Rating Program system. From now on, I will just call this system NTRP for the remainder of this video for simplicity's sake. NTRP was created all the way back in 1978, and the range of that system is 1.0 all the way through 7.0, whereas 1.0 players are just starting to learn the sport, and 6.0 and above are labeled as world-class tennis players. The way that the USTA utilizes this system for amateur match play is that each tennis is put into a bucket. For example, I can play in a 4-5 USTA tennis league in my area because I am rated as a 4-5. However, I cannot play in a 4-0 league, yet I can play in a 5-0 league. The USTA does allow you to play up a level, but personally I think this is a really bad idea because of the idea of being bumped up. But more on that later. The NTRP system is also gender-based. According to the USTA, a 3-5 male is competitive to a 4-0 female. It is safe to say that a male NTRP is half a step higher than a female NTRP rated player, if you want to do cross-gender match play. Also, there is no separation between singles and doubles in this system. If you feel like you are truly a single specialist, like a 5'9", 31-year-old that does YouTube original tennis content, but you are rated a 4-5 NTRP, and you feel like your doubles game is absolute garbage, because trust me, mine is, you are still not allowed to compete in anything below a 4-5 level. UTR was originally launched in 2008 by a Virginia tennis professional named Dave Howell. It is a scale from 1 through 17, and unlike the NTRP system, UTR, whose parent company is Oracle, a software company, it does not place tennis players into buckets. Every tennis player that has a record in UTR's database has a dynamic tennis rating that goes 2 decimal places, like 9.20 and 12.69. Nice. Tennis players can enter in tournaments and play people with a significantly higher or significantly lower rating as they please. UTR is also gender agnostic. An 8.55 UTR female would have a very competitive match against an 8.75 UTR male. And UTR does separate ratings for both singles and doubles. For example, I am a 9.20 UTR rated singles player as of this video. But my doubles game, which is, I admit, severely lacking, my doubles rating for UTR is only a 7.20. And I believe that's pretty accurate given what I played in the past. One thing that the USTA's NTRP system does well is the league play, because about once a week I could play tennis on my team as my friends and I play tennis on Wednesday nights, drink beers, and just overall have a good time. In all honesty, that's about the only good thing I could say about this system. Now, I'm going to absolutely criticize this system as unbiasedly as possible. Again, I'm not attacking anyone in this organization. I'm criticizing this system because I personally believe It is absolutely trash and needs to be reevaluated, restructured, and possibly erased from this planet. First of all, the new USTA Tennis Link website is absolutely garbage. It honestly feels like the USTA has hired a third-party technology company to use a decade-old technology and try to piece together this abomination. Honestly, USTA, I know juniors in college that could make a better database structure and UI than what you currently have live on your website for Tennis Link. Whoever you hired for this job, you should absolutely fire them for this bang-up job of a technology ecosystem. I'm not saying this because I know I can do a better job, but trust me, I can. I'm saying this because you are supposed to represent the American tennis system, and this website is an absolute embarrassment. Almost as much of an embarrassment as the men's professional tennis in America. One of the biggest reasons that this NTRP system exists and has not evolved significantly in my lifetime is that because there's no major competition in this system on an impactful basis. This idea of competition making the product or service better is apparent in all industries. Video games, car manufacturing, and a whole bunch of other industries that I can't get too much into in this video because it's gonna take forever. The USTA has gone absolutely atrociously lazy because they didn't feel the need to evolve this archaic system. They did not need to do research and they did not take risks because there were no competition. They were just raking in their millions every single year, like Bernard Tomic.
Count money, that's all I do. I count my millions.
Although the NTRP rating puts people into buckets, it actually is more of a range. For example, if you're rated a 4.0 NTRP, your true NTRP rating is somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4.99. According to the recent interview with Essential Tennis, the individual that oversees the NTRP rating system in the USTA says they hide it for a reason. And do you want to know what that reason is? She is claiming that if they publish an extra piece of information publicly, players will be more concerned about that specific 2-decimal number rather than playing a match. I personally believe this is a trash argument. When someone is playing a tennis match and they want to win, they should not care about how strong or weak a tennis player is across the net. I've never heard of someone in any type of instance that would be discouraged to play someone that is slightly stronger or slightly weaker than them. The general guidelines for playing someone in your NTRP skill level is also absolutely false from what I can tell. According to the USTA, if you are on the lower end of the 3.5 NTRP rating and you play someone on the higher end of that exact rating bucket, the score should be 6-0, 6-0, favoring the slightly stronger player. However, I have witnessed on multiple occasions that this absolutely never happens. I've watched players handily beat significantly stronger players than them in the same rating and sometimes even up to 2 levels higher. I have absolutely no idea how the USTA would ever come to this conclusion given this guideline that they have published. Speaking of not having a fucking clue, the self-rating system is more archaic than men's professional tennis. Originally, the USTA had this thing called rating clinics, where if you wanted to find out what rating you would be, a fat, overweight coach who doesn't give a shit about you and is somehow certified by the USTA would see you hit a few shots and give you a rating without any type of care in the world. Now, currently, they will have you fill out a questionnaire online, which is arguably even worse. The USTA self-rating form has originally rated me as a 5.5, when in fact I'm actually a 4.5. Another example of why this is a garbage self-rating form is that my friend Ian from Essential Tennis was originally self-rated a 5.0 when he took this questionnaire in the middle of 2021, when he clearly has lost to several 4-5 players in singles on camera. And a lot of people have appealed this rating. And for some stupid reason, this appeal process can take up to 3 weeks. Luckily for Ian, he was appealed in under a week successfully to 4.5, probably just because he has the biggest original tennis content YouTube following up till this day. The old clinic method just basically judges your NTRP rating system based on your form or technique. And the newer way of the self-rating form just judges your history, which in all honesty your history, and your technique really don't matter. Both of these methods are completely disregarding the fact and the most important aspect of not only being a tennis player, but being an athlete. Can you win? This UTR system, for the most part, delivers on what the USTA's NTRP system fails to deliver to amateur players. And trust me, that's a lot, because the USTA kind of failed you in that aspect. Unlike the NTRP system, your UTR rating is updated almost instantly as soon as it is reported. Unlike the NTRP system, which literally takes a fucking year to update. I have no idea why the USTA would want to wait 12 calendar months for your official rating to be publicly updated. The UTR system also makes your exact rating down to the 100th decimal visible to you at the cost of literally $0. You could literally just go to myutr.com and check out your current standing UTR if you have been playing matches in the past 12 months recurring. Also, the UTR is present throughout not just the Americas, but also Europe as well. If you talk to someone in France about their NTRP rating, they will smoke a cigarette, take a bite out of their baguette, and not know what the hell you're talking about. But the UTR actually does deliver on its title. It is a universal language that you can gauge your strength based on your previous matches and results, and compare that to someone that is completely across the globe from you. And to be honest, if you don't currently have a UTR rating, you don't have to go to some bullshit clinic or some stupid archaic form just to get a rating. Literally just go out there and play tennis matches. This system encourages you to do as well as possible against stronger tennis players, and encourages you to absolutely stomp on weaker players to get you the best and strongest rating possible. In my opinion, there are only 3 major flaws with this UTR system. And although I think this is much better than the NTRP, in case you haven't noticed from the tone of this video, it's still not perfect and it can still be improved. I believe that the best type of system to work with is wins and losses against stronger or weaker players. I really don't think the scoreline matters, but apparently it does to the UTR and also the NTRP rating systems as well. In my opinion, whether or not you win 6-0, 6-0, or 7-6, 7-6 in a singles match, it really shouldn't matter what the scoreline is because a win is a win. Also, with the scoreline being a huge factor in the UTR system, this does favor big servers, especially on surfaces like hard court and grass, as it is easier for them to hold. UTR also fails to cover on league play, something that the NTRP system does quite well, although not perfectly. But I think the UTR system is working on a system like that in the near future to release to the public. Lastly, UTR favors individuals that play more tournaments on a regular basis. Think junior players versus weekend warriors such as myself. I can actually only play maybe 4 tournaments a year because of my schedule. Whereas juniors in my area are able to play up to 2 tournaments a month because, I mean, what else do you do in high school besides sports, drugs, and watch TikTok? I've had many instances where I personally believe, and yes, this is anecdotal evidence, so take it with a grain of salt, that a UTR 9 junior is significantly weaker than a 9 UTR post-college tennis player that is a weekend warrior. This is where I lay my cards for you guys to judge. I'm a 31-year-old weekend warrior. I coach tennis part-time outside of my software engineering desk job. And I've been through the USTA circuit as a junior. And I've been dabbing in some UTR events and USTA tournaments as well. I'm also an independent contractor for the UTR as a local event coordinator in the Milwaukee area. So if you are in the Midwest and want to meet me and play in my tennis tournaments, and yes, some of them are cash prize events, I will leave a link to my virtual tennis club down in the description below if you guys want to check it out. Overall, yes, my tone for the USTA's NTRP system is very negative, but I hope you understand where I am coming from. I truly believe that the future of tennis rating in a worldwide scale is UTR from what I know. However, there are other systems out there that I can review for you guys if you want to take a look at it, such as player court and rally tennis. Do you guys agree with my analysis of the NTRP versus UTR systems? What tennis platforms do you want me to take a deep dive into? Leave a comment down in the section below, and let's have a real civil conversation whether or not you agree or disagree with me on these type of topics. And as always, happy hitting.